Okay, seems like 2021 is going to be quite a big year for World of Tanks. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel. So yesterday, during the stream of the year on the official World of Tanks Twitch channel, there was a Q&A session with Artem Safronov, who is executive producer of World of Tanks. And Artem revealed a lot of plans for the future, a lot of plans for 2021, big topics such as HE Shell rebalance, SPG rebalance, crew new system, crew 2.0, battle pass changes, maps, Italian heavy tanks, Czech tanks, new maps events, so on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of things to cover. In today's episode, I am going to focus on two quite big things. I'm going to talk about HE Shell's rebalance 2.0 and SPG rebalance 2.0, which is a lot different direction what they at first suggested, or what we were able to test on the sandbox as well. Those SPG changes are actually massive, ladies and gentlemen, if those ever go through, because you know we have been able to test the stuff before as well, which didn't end up in the game. For example, so far we have not received the shell rebalancing where standard round has less penetration but deals more damage, premium round has more penetration but deals less damage. We were able to test this thing out on the sandbox server like over half a year ago, maybe close to 1 year ago. I do not even remember, time flies very quickly. But anyway, today, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I'm going to talk about two quite big things: HE Shell's Rebalance 2.0 and SPG Rebalance, which is super big thing. And in the upcoming days, I am going to cover all the other topics as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to miss any upcoming videos. Make sure you don't, hitting that subscribe button and notification bell at the same time. Now, diving into the first topic, HE Shell's Rebalance 2.0. Courtesy to Harkonnen from the dailybounce.net blog, who was keeping live track at what is happening. So if we see some typos over here, we can easily forgive Harkonnen, because Harkonnen was typing everything down during the live stream, basically wrote down the biggest cliff notes from the interview what Artem and Ikabu had. Now, seems like developers really want to limit the HE spam. They want to remove the mindset that HE shell is a shell type which always deals damage. You simply have to right click, left click, auto aim, just fire it into the middle of the vehicle and you deal damage. Seems like this is going to be their, let's say, main approach towards the new HE shell mechanic, how the HE shells works and so on. Because looking over at the cliff notes Harkonnen was able to write down, the damage will be calculated based on where exactly the shell lands, so the armor will have a lot more value. The armor will be a big part of the damage number calculation algorithm takes in. Then the players will have to aim where to hit the shell exactly to deal more damage. You know, you have to spend more time aiming. You cannot simply right click, left click and deal like crazy amount of damage, right? Means that bigger armor, less damage you will take from the HE. The more armor you have, the less damage you take. Well, this mechanic is already in the game. You know, let's say you auto aim, hit a mouse on the side, or hit auto aim shot into the Progetto on the side, Progetto 65. Of course, mouse deals, or mouse receives, sorry, a lot less damage. So this is what we're going to have, but they want to implement it even further. Developers want to eliminate the HE spam anywhere deals damage meta or mindset. This is what I said at the start as well. HE changes will be tested in sandbox, making sure changes are good. Of course, guys, you know where to come. If the sandbox test server with HE rounds is up, of course I'm going to get my hands on it and I will provide you needed information. Also, additionally, spaced armor will play a bigger part against HE. So spaced armor, side skirts, spaced armor protection on the turret, on the hull, are going to block more HE shell damage. So this is what we can basically take away from their approach towards the new HE shell rebalance. You have to aim more. Still the question is, what happens if I fire underneath the vehicle? What happens then if I do not hit the hull at all? Like currently, you deal the most damage if you simply splash underneath the vehicle into the ground or into the tracks. It doesn't matter. It just deals more damage because the armor is the weakest test on the bottom of the vehicle. Those questions still are still in the air, but of course I'm going to test everything out when we are able to do that. But now let's talk about the main massive topic in today's episode. SPG Rebalance 2.0, and this time they are introducing, or they are thinking about implementing so many new features to the artillery. It actually, I'm looking forward to it. Let's say I'm looking forward how it works out, because of course we cannot simply draw like final conclusions looking at their ideas. We need to test it out, we need to see how the community reacts to it, and so on. SPG will have a new type of shells. First, we'll have stun, fixed damage, a bigger splash. Now, we were able to test out one version of the SPG changes once again half a year ago, maybe even more than that, where they implemented new shell type. Once again, they brought back AP round, which was completely useless, by the way, in my opinion, because artillery has massive RNG hitting their shots in the first place, and then you had to penetrate that, and then you had the penetration roll, then damage rolls, and so on. AP round basically was useless. They also had one shell, one HE type, which did a bit less damage, had a stun, and the second HE shell type, which didn't have a stun but did a bit more damage. They failed with that test quite drastically, in my opinion at least, because nobody was using the higher damaging HE with no stun, because the damage gap between stunning HE shell and the improved damage HE shell was way too minuscule. Like 200 damage at max, which for SPG equals like 50 less splash damage, something like that. It was useless. But now, first we'll have a stun, fixed damage, and a bigger splash. Fixed damage is very interesting, right? The second will have a smaller splash radius, no stun, but bigger damage. Now, once again, it comes down to what is the damage difference? If the damage difference, once again, is 100, 200 damage, nobody uses it. The third one, regular damage, no stun. Now, over here, they do not say if it is AP round or not, but from the next point, I can kinda figure out it is an AP round. The third shell type is still going to be AP round. I think so, at least, because look at the third one. Third one is a new, new feature for the artilleries. Let me know what you think about that. Each type of shell will have different trajectories. First one will be wider, making it possible to maybe hit tanks behind obstacles. Quite annoying, right? No RT shadow, even behind rocks, even behind houses. Second will be lower but similar to the first one. AP, this is what leads me to think that the third shell type is AP. AP will be faster but lower arc. Okay, so different shell arcs as well. Another additional thing you have to calculate when choosing shell type, when choosing your targets. According to the shell type you have loaded in. But more about the loaded in shell type and switching it in a second. The idea is to create a different experience using SPG in the game. Okay. I am all up for that. I'm all up for making SPG an actual support, actual thinking class, and hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, in the next couple of points it is going to happen. There will be a reduced reload if you are fully loaded and decide to change the shell type. Maybe you only have 1-2 targets to shoot, you have one shell in, you need a higher arc, you need to reload your shell. You still need to reload it, but it is going to reload faster when you were already fully reloaded. Nice, okay. Now, a little bit armored warfare vibes over here for you. Developers are considering to implement SPG 6 cents. The way it will work is, if an SPG makes a shot, the player will see an indicator that an SPG made a shot. And for few seconds only, the indicator shows on the map, not making massive difference in gameplay, but gives the player an opportunity to move before he is hit. Now, we do not know what the indicator is. Is it on the minimap? Is it on the screen? Is it going to be anything like in the Armored Warfare back in the days, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to show you some footage as well, which was kind of a mini-game for artillery. And as far as I remember, Armored Warfare players liked that solution so much better. As soon as the artillery fired, there was a little notification sound effect and a little dot on the minimap showcasing enemy artillery and actual visual picture as well of the enemy artillery for a couple seconds. And it provided a lot more counter-arty battle at the start of the fight between artilleries, you know. And then the winner, if they were able to destroy, they had free battle to shoot to help out the teammates. You know, in Armored Warfare we actually had smoke rounds, we actually had spotting rounds as well, which exploded up in the air, made area visible, spotted all the tanks with their actual support class. I liked the artillery in Armored Warfare so much more. Well, of course, the artillery was so much more advanced, faster firing and so on. That was annoying, but the idea I liked so much more. And as far as I remember, like majority of the player base enjoyed the artillery in Armored Warfare, the mechanic, and what they are thinking about implementing, considering to implement. They enjoyed that mechanic so much more. Because right now in World of Tanks we do not have any of it. So please let me know what you think about that. If you are an artillery player, would you like to see that? If you are not an artillery player, would you like to see this type of thing in the game? Let me know in the comments. And I think I'm going to provide you some, or I already did provide you some Armored Warfare artillery footage on the background as well, just to give you an example how it worked. Another big change will be the introduction of the siege mode to SPGs. They will only be able to fire in a siege mode and not outside of it. It is a consideration. As far as I know, the siege mode on artillery should work more like the STRV, the tank destroyer siege mode. You know, you have to stop, you have to activate the shooting mode. Wow, another big thing. Tracers will make a return to the game and will have a strong color, so counter SPG will be possible and easier. A little SPG minigame that gives a little break for the tanks on the battlefield? Yes or no? There will be a splash zone area that will show to SPG players, making it easier to understand if the splash will hit the target behind the cover. There will be a splash zone area that will show SPG players, making it easier to understand if the splash will hit a target behind the cover. Or I think you can also use it if you want to splash only the enemy vehicle which is face-hugging your ally and you do not know if the splash is going to reach your ally as well or not, then this is going to help out in those situations. I think so. I think this is what that means. And also, finally, the minimap will show indicators where SPG made a shot that hit, not precise, just the area. There is no final decision on how long the indicator will last, but will give important information for players. So basically, you have a minimap, let's say A0 at the edge of the minimap, you receive a shot, like right now if you receive a direct hit from the artillery, right now you can see the indicator in the middle of your screen, you know from which direction it came, and when this new system will be implemented, let's say, you also see a little minimap dot of the ring or area, square, however they say, however they make it happen, of the minimap area where that shot came from. So yeah, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Quite a lot to digest, like quite drastically different artillery gameplay over here. Still, what I want to see are support rounds, smoke rounds. I would like to see the spotting rounds, actually. I honestly would like to see that. 3 different shell types. Once again, seems to be the same overall mechanic what we were able to test out before. You have shell which deals less damage, has stun, more damage, less splash, no stun, but once again, it depends how big the damage gap is between different shell types. Are the player going to prefer, are they actually going to choose, or are they simply going to stick to one shell? Of course, you have to use stunning shell for the stunning missions, maybe damage shells for the damage missions. Like, to give players more options, that's always very nice thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, a lot to digest already, covering those 2 topics. Please, let me know what you think about that in the comments down below, where you can also find subscribe button and like button or dislike button if you don't like my episodes which I upload. It is up to you. It is free world, ladies and gentlemen. I get you next time with something else. As I said at the start, stay tuned for more Q&A session coverage over here on this channel. Stay awesome, stay sexy, stay naked, take care, and bye.